Everybody, I am a director and I just posted a casting call asking for self-tapes, and so I thought I'd do a little bit of advice on how to do self-tapes from a director's perspective. I'm sure if you look on YouTube you can get a lot of actors giving you good advice on the actual acting part of it, but I wanted to give you a little advice based on what I see as a director. These are just my personal preferences. Definitely make sure you're reading the instructions in case something's different than mine, but I think they're pretty broad and should be applicable for most casting calls. Follow all of the instructions. This one seems like it should be obvious, but believe me, not everyone follows all of the instructions. In fact, many people don't. There's a bunch of reasons why you want to follow all of the instructions. One, it makes it easier for us. They're there for a reason, and it just makes our process simpler when everybody follows the instructions. But two, it's also a test. Producers especially, but casting agents, directors, those instructions can very well be a test to see if you follow instructions or not. And if you're a hassle to deal with when it comes to the audition or the self-tape, you're probably going to be a hassle to deal with when it comes to scheduling and getting sizes and all those things. I always ask for an unlisted YouTube link for self-tapes. I get people writing me and saying, hey, can I email you the file? Can I send you a Vimeo link, a OneDrive link, a Dropbox link, an Apple, whatever? No, no, please send me an unlisted YouTube link. That's what I want. It's easy, it's free. The links of auditions that I want to send to my team, I just want to put them all on a list and say, hey, take a look. We liked these ones, we didn't like these ones. If I have a file, what am I supposed to do with that? It gives you better odds of getting the part because you won't get lost in the shuffle. It shows me you can follow directions and it makes my life easier. If I'm between someone who doesn't follow the directions and someone who does follow directions and the actual acting was even, I'm going to go with the person who follows the directions. Talk to the camera like you're talking to the person who can give you the role. Because you are. Like I'm doing now, I'm not trying to think about the camera, I'm just trying to imagine that somebody on the other end is going to take this advice and send in a self-tape. I want to feel comfortable and personable. I get a lot of self-tapes where the talent seems a little irritated or maybe they're embarrassed, so they kind of have their guard up. That comes off in the audition, and often it doesn't play well, it doesn't read right on camera. Many of my casting calls are for music videos, so instead of having lines that you have to read, I just ask you some questions. This is a chance for me to see how you read on camera. So I often ask, what's your favorite movie? And if you just say, The Lion King, that doesn't give me a lot to work with. You might want to expand a little. Don't go on and on and on. Imagine that I'm in the room, or whoever you're sending the tape to is in the room with you. If you give them a one-word answer, they're gonna go, oh, okay. It's not that you're gonna pick the right movie that gets you the part, it's why you like it, why you care about it, your enthusiasm, your voice, your inflections, your movements, all of that is gonna come through on the camera. And also, maybe you're doing it in character. I don't request that you have to do it in character because again, there's no lines in a music video, but a lot of people will bring the same energy to the part that they're bringing to answering the questions. And I like that, it's fun. Remember, you're an actor, so just act like the other people are in the room with you. The quality of the video doesn't matter, but it doesn't hurt either. I've certainly offered roles to low quality video, and at the end of the day, camera production quality, that's my department. I'm the one that's got to make sure that's good. So I'm not expecting you to have that nailed down. But at the same time, there are a few things that will make your self-tape just a little bit easier to digest and really take in the full performance. Clean audio is the main thing. If your audio is overdriven or if it's too quiet and the room noise or the street sounds are overtaking your voice and the subtleties of your performance, that could be a problem. And then the other one is I want to make sure I can get all the little expressions that you have when you're reacting to a line or saying a line. So I would recommend doing it by some window light during the daytime. I understand a lot of actors are coming home after work or after school and just trying to get it done, so you don't always have the option, but pull up a lamp, find some nice lighting in your home, and make sure I can see your face. It doesn't have to be super cinematic, but I do want to see what your face looks like while you're performing. So you're looking at the casting call, you're interested in a role, and there's sides. Sides is just lines. It's what we want you to say in your audition. And there's two sets of dialogue. There's your character and they're talking to someone else and you're having a conversation. So what do? Do you need someone to read with you? Ideally, Yes. If you can find someone who can read with you, that's probably the way to do it. It's important to remember that your reactions during the conversation are going to be just as important as your lines. That said, I have gotten auditions where the person the actor is reading with is very stiff, and it almost stiffens up the actor as well. So ideally, if you can find someone who's a little bit expressive, maybe find an actor friend, someone who's going to give you what you need so you can react properly. I have had people record their own voice doing the other lines. I've had people say the lines and just leave it blank where the other line would be. If that's your only option, great. I often feel if somebody just leaves it blank, sort of missing half of the performance. If you can't find someone to read with, that's okay. Still submit your tape. There's all kinds of little intricacies that might get you noticed, right? There might be something in my head that I'm hearing a certain word said a certain way, and then you say it that way, and you got the role. At the end of the day, you might just be the right person, and if you can't find someone to read with, might not matter. Remember, if you take all of these tips and put them together, you're gonna have a pretty strong self-tape. Don't be afraid to rehearse or reshoot your self-tape. The advantage of a self-tape is that we're not in the room with you. I don't know how many times you've hit record. Just send me the best one, and that's gonna work. Take as many tries as you need to get it right. On occasion, I get self-tapes where I wonder, they left that in. Interesting. You know, if you mess up a take, don't send that take. Definitely get through the whole take. Take the time to do it again and get the right take. It's especially true if there's something over the top, like a scream or a cry or a hysterical acting moment, anything like that. A lot of people only want to do that once or twice, and you can see the embarrassment on their face, and they look at the camera and they're nervous. And I would get that out of your system, do it a few times until you're comfortable with it, and then show me that you can stay with it through the whole take, because that's going to matter when it comes to filming it. People are often kind of like, okay, there, I did it. Don't just show me that you can do it, show me that you can do it really well too. Do it until you don't really feel silly about it. I know this might make you come off as like the crazy neighbor, but you're an actor, so it kind of comes with the territory. I'm the one asking you to do it, so I'm not going to be surprised, and I'm not going to judge you for doing it because it's part of the casting call. Don't give up. This isn't necessarily advice that will make your self-tape better. I hope you take it to heart anyway. I frequently have people who apply for 2 or 3 roles and then kind of drop off after not getting them. Unfortunately, it's just one person per role, but there are a lot of people who live up in my head as people that I could cast someday for the right role. And the more you audition, the more I see your face, the more chance that that's gonna happen, and someday I'm gonna go, hey, I've got a role just for you. Or I might write a role specifically for you. I've done that lots with actors, even smaller roles where I go, oh, you know, I know that I always have Andrew in my back pocket, so what's a role that works good for Andrew? Andrew. Don't let yourself think, oh, they see my face, they know who I am, if they wanna cast me, they can cast me. If I don't get a self-tape, even from people that I have worked with a ton, I sort of assume they're not interested. Now, I might still come knocking because I don't generally get enough self-tapes. So I might say, hey, not sure if you saw this role, but I'd love to see you to read for it. There's a lot of rejection in film, in acting. It can be pretty unbearable. I get it. I don't have to bare my soul quite the same way that actors do, but believe me, filmmakers and directors get rejected a lot too. It's part of the game and it kind of sucks, but stick with it, please. It's not a mean rejection, it's a sorry, not this time, I promise. Don't take it personally, don't give up.